strength. Jesus, give him strength.
Hey, everybody.
We need strength.
Oh, gosh.
Good
Hey.
Evening. Good evening.
Let us know where you are coming in from.
What up, world?
So glad that you're with us tonight.
Thanks for connecting with us. It's Marriage Monday. We're back. We're back like we never left. What's up, guys?
Go ahead and tag some people so that they can come on and be a part of Marriage Monday.
Marriage Monday. It's going to be good tonight.
Yeah, let us know where you're coming in from tonight.
Yeah, tag us and let us know.
Tag somebody. And let us know.
Somebody that missed it last week. Tell them that it's happening live.
Yeah.
And that we're on and we're back.
Hey.
What up, Ypsilanti, Michigan?
Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti.
It's not Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti.
I'm just saying. Hey.
Omaha. Hey, Levon. Oh, my
man.
gosh. I miss you, Vaughn.
Sade, congratulations on your business.
Yes, girl, you better decorate it up.
What up, Lisa? How are you this evening? Danielle?
Hey, Glenwood, Illinois.
Glenwood. The Greens. Michelle, what's up?
Hey, y'all the bomb. Thank you.
Hey. Glad
Juanita. Hey.
Here with us.
Catlin.
What up, Cat? Hey, tell Phoebe
happy birthday.
We love her. We love y'all. What up, guys? What's up, everybody? Sharon, good evening.
Javon is here.
Tennessee. Hey,
Las Vegas.
How y'all doing? Hey.
Hey,
What's up,
guys?
Everybody?
Please like and share. Chirac.
Yeah. Praying for the city. Come on.
I know, yes.
Hey, everybody.
Fort Worth, Texas. Wow. Out here working in Utah. Wow.
I see YouTube now. We on all platforms.
Okay,
Periscope,
cool.
YouTube, Facebook.
We're everywhere.
Instagram. We're everywhere. And we're so glad that you are here.
Yeah.
There and everywhere. Tag somebody.
Come on. Y'all coming in strong tonight. Quick.
I guess
I love it.
Like last week we wasn't here. So
I know.
What up, right? So it's good. Y'all like? Good. Here we go. What up?
Hi, everybody. You missed me from last week. Hey.
So funny. How y'all doing tonight? Everybody's doing well.
Hope everybody's
good.
Doing well.
Hope everybody's well.
You had a great holiday, a long weekend. We back into this virtual school, bringing our kids in. You guys have made it. You are wonderful parents.
Yeah, if there's any teachers out there, listen.
Teachers, hey.
Y'all the truth.
I told my husband this day, I'm trying to figure out what I can give them extra.
Most teachers are like managing
both
virtual
and in person.
Yeah, so it's like we get it. It's a lot. My wife is an educator, so thankfully she's rocking it with the kids while I'm working here. Today I had to give her a little relief. She needed some support.
He was really good.
And it was fun.
It's fun when you come in and out. It's really fun.
It is fun when you come in and out. But much props to all the teachers, much props to the wives, the husbands, whoever's in the house that's helping to get it done. All right. That's real talk. And we just for real, we celebrate you. Tonight in September, we are having a little fun, right? So growing up, particularly in the 90s, some great sitcoms came out that just had a lot of life lessons.
Amazing.
In it. We always talked about life lessons that were on sitcoms and things that you learned. Like, what was your favorite sitcoms that you watched growing up? What was your favorite sitcoms that you loved to see and watch growing up, right? That you learned about life from.
I know I did.
I remember my wife, I told her how I learned about Black colleges from
first one.
A different world.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. A different world taught me about Black colleges and what that life must have been like. Cosby Show, Martin, Family Matters, Cosby Show for sure. Martin, I see it. A different world is coming through. Yeah, so
Brady Bunch. I like the Brady Bunch too.
Brady Bunch, yeah, the blended family.
It taught us about being a blended family.
That was a TV show with a blended family.
Star Trek.
trip?
We got some Trekkies. People like Trekkies. Good times. True. Good time. I couldn't do good times, y'all. Because to me, no, it had nothing to do with it. There was nothing about that. There was nothing.
When you grew up in Chicago, you grew up in the hood, you understand good times, right? She bougie, and that's why, right?
I only watched it because Janet Jackson was on there a couple
times. Wonder Years, the Jeffersons. The
Wonder Years. That was one of my favorites too.
That was a good one. Yeah. So growing up, sometimes your parents worked, you watched TV, you learned lessons, you saw things about family that you didn't understand, I learned so much. I mean, there's a lot of controversy perhaps surrounding Bill Cosby and what he did, what he's been convicted for.
Yeah.
But as a character of Heathcliff Huxtable, man, just him and Claire Huxtable just taught so much about, that's right, taught so much about the family. And my family and I, we used to sit down on Wednesdays and watch. We had to introduce our children to the Cosby Show. We would watch the Cosby Show and then have a watch and discuss. After we were finished, we would discuss like what we thought and what we saw and just have a lot of fun. So we thought in September we'd bring a little bit of that spice to it. So there's so many great moments, so many great nuggets. But tonight, I just want to look at something from the Cosby Show, right? But one of the questions that I want to pose or ask is, do you think in modern day marriage right now, today, as we see it, do gender roles still exist? Do gender roles still exist? One of the things about the Cosby Show was that he was a doctor, she was a lawyer, right? So they both worked. They were both like dominant in their field, killing the game. They had, children, and yet both worked. So do you think that gender roles still exist in the marriage today, right? Do you think they're prevalent? Do you see them functioning? What do you think? Sharon says yes. Somebody says yes. Somebody says yes with variables. Somebody say yes, they do. Somebody say yes, they do. Yes, because I don't cut grass. That is hilarious.
Girl, you ain't never lied.
I don't cut grass. Of course they should. However, it's not that's right. Monolithic approach. That's very good. Yes. Yep. Everybody's chiming in.
Yes and no.
Yes, to a certain extent. Interesting. Yes, to a certain extent. Yes and no. Interesting. And sometimes without saying. So when you think about this, it's very interesting. I love y'all chiming in on it and on the thought of if gender roles still exist and how they function. So look, tonight we're going to check out real quick a few clips that I thought was interesting, and then we're going to have a discussion about this. This first clip, I'm going to set it up. This is Elvin, who was interested in their oldest daughter and his perception about a gender role.
If I have some research to do at the office, but I'll be home in time for dinner.
Ooh, then I'll cook something for you.
Would you do that for me?
I'd be happy to.
What will you make?
I don't even know yet.
Will it be something I can recognize?
I hope.
I'll see you there.
Okay,
goodbye, Elvin.
Goodbye, Mrs. Huxtable.
I'll go get Sandra for you.
Dr. Huxtable?
Yes, sir.
Your wife goes to work and you cook?
Right.
Well, doesn't it ever bother you that when you come home at night, there's not always a hot meal waiting for you?
Oh, no. Sometimes my wife comes home and there's no hot meal waiting for her. What's your point?
I just feel it confuses things when a woman works. My mother works, and I don't like it.
He said his mama works, he don't like it.
There's nothing to eat.
That's hilarious.
Are your hands broken?
I know how to cook. But why should I when my mom's so good at it?
Wow. Yeah, but that's how Elvin was raised. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't raised. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, but he was raised obviously to see that his mother worked or cooked, because other than that, he wouldn't have been conditioned to want a meal.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think so? What do you guys think about that? Like, so in this moment, in that setting, he's there, hungry. He's talking about his mother, and he's talking about the perception of what women do in a traditional setting. What do you guys think about that, right? How do you feel about that? I think the one lady that said they exist because I don't cut grass is so hilarious to me, because my wife does a lot of things, right? But one of the things she was clear on in her expectations, because when you get married, you got to have a conversation about clear expectations, right? So it's important to have a conversation about clear expectations, because every house is different. And Claire, and like Elvin, he grew up obviously in a climate where he was expecting for his mom to cook, right? And that's why he had that appetite. So I grew up in a family where we all just kind of did what we did to get it done. My wife told me, listen, let me explain something to you. I don't do garbage, all right? I'm not taking the garbage out, and I'm not cutting no grass. I'm not going outside. I'll do a lot of things, anything to help you, but what I'm not doing is taking the garbage out. My wife will clean up the whole house. Garbage will be neatly packed up right there by the garbage. She will not touch the garbage. Now, thankfully, I got two sons. I don't think Monet touches the garbage. No, she does not. Because, again, she's growing up in a house where that's what she sees, that's what she experiences, and that's what she understands.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, and I don't even, because I wasn't raised in a 2-parent household, it was just something that I just don't like. And I just remember my cousin, when he lived with us, I was just like, take the garbage out. He was like, why? And I was like, because that's a man's job. I said, yeah, there you go. I got it. I tagged it. That's
so is it still man's job and women's job when it comes to family, when it comes to marriage?
I don't think that I think that some roles go because of female and male, but I think that some things are just, they're neither male nor female. I think that it is based upon who does it better.
Do you think gender roles still exist in the family?
Do I think
she tried to talk about this morning, and I was like, no, don't talk about it, because I want your real honest opinion straight off the cup. What do you think? What are you feeling?
I think that the large percentage of marriages today that they are not wife and husband roles, but I think that they should exist.
Why are you talking so slow? You was not talking that slow this morning. You was like, well, I won't say what you said. I just want to know why you walking, dancing
I'm not,
around
because I'm just making sure that I'm saying it clearly.
People say, yes, who does it better? Somebody else says, when I live alone, guy friends visited, they were offered to take the trash out.
Because that's the only thing they can do, because they hoping that you cook.
They shouldn't have been over your house for the first place. Anyway, my husband will not clean the bathroom. He will not take out the trash. He will not clean out the bathroom. He will not take out the trash. Gender roles have changed. It's per preference. Very interesting. And it's like, for me, I think
you don't really have any.
Well,
there's not.
Don't be trying to tell my business when you was dancing around your own thoughts. I will say, for me, that when I consider it and I think about it, like, a lot of things I enjoy just to doing, because that's just how my mother raised me. But some of the things that my wife does for me is because it's how she was raised and it's her preference. Like, for instance, I would probably rather wash my own clothes. To be honest, I would probably rather wash my own clothes.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I would probably rather wash my own clothes. But my wife, not because my wife doesn't do a good job at it, it's just because in her mind, certain areas in this house belong to my wife. The laundry room, the kitchen, she just wants stuff a certain way, and that's just what it is, and it's like, it's her preference more than it is my preference. So I appreciate everything she does for me. Actually, I just told her when I was in Chicago this weekend without her, I said, babe, just thank you, because you do things for me that I don't even know you do until you're not there. Then I realize, oh, wait a minute. I reach for something. It's like, oh, that's not there. Oh, that's because your wife's not here, you idiot. It's like, it's stuff that my wife does for me that I don't even know she does for me until she's not present, right? Not so much because I automatically have an expectation of her, but because over time she's trained me to be that way.
Yeah, and I think, like, sometimes people, when you talk about gender roles, they're going to automatically go to cooking and cleaning, and kind of like those are that's the major thing. But to me, cooking and cleaning is not a gender role. It is a person that is responsible role. That's something that you just need to do. My sons need to know how to cook. My daughter needs to know how to take the garbage out. What does that mean? My daughter should know or learn how to cut grass. Like all of those things that we try to put in a certain space. I think everybody needs to know those things in order to survive. Then when you get married, because you have done them, I don't really like cooking.
Now you're getting real. All right. Let's check this out. Here's another clip. Tell me what y'all think about what she just said, and tell me what you think about this clip. All right.
Daryl, what do you think about women work?
I'm all for it. As a matter of fact, my
totally different perspective.
Well, then in that case, I guess you don't get many hot meals.
We always have hot meals at my house. Everybody takes turns cooking.
See?
I like him more.
What would happen if your wife worked and you came home and there was no hot meal?
Well, I can cook for myself.
Say your wife is at home and you come home with the guy and there's no hot meal.
Well, that would be pretty inconsiderate. I would call first. That's what my father does with my mother, and she seems to appreciate it.
Was your father shorter than you? Okay. But now, how about if you're married and you're home and your wife came home from her career job and she sat down next to you and she said, "Where's my dinner? And you better get it on this table right now." Now you're a man, right? What would you do?
Interesting.
Well, I guess I better do some pretty good cooking.
Very, very interesting, right? What I love about this clip that was interesting was when it shifted or when it changed was again because of how he was raised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To your point, you're like daughters, sons need to know certain things, but yet and still most of us are married to the way that our spouse was raised, right? So most of the roles were inherited, right? Perceptions were inherited into our relationship. And sometimes we don't think about, well, what do we believe?
Yeah.
Right. What's acceptable for us? What do we want? What do we need? And have that conversation. Then we could just really grow up thinking that it's a certain way, not because we're necessarily biased, but because that's the way that we've always seen it or the way we've always experienced. So it's important when you get married and while you're married and even throughout your marriage to continue to have this conversation and reinvigorate the conversation to understand what the expectation is for you. Chef says that roles have changed. Most homes are two-income homes, meaning both work outside the home. That's being said with shared duties, i.e. whoever gets home first, start dinner, both help with the kids, etc., etc. Right. That's why I picked the Cosby Show.
Experienced couple.
And that's a couple that both of y'all know how to cook, right?
Exactly.
So it's easy to say that when both people cook. Sometimes the other person say, well, one person start the meal and they say, no. You don't start that meal because, again, like somebody else said, you're not necessarily the better at it, right? I think Lolita said whoever's the best at something is what we do. I love my Marriage Monday families, our nation, because you guys are so tapped in. It really appreciate the fact that you show up and that you communicate because it's like we're on a stream of thought, right? So what we're going to talk about, you already are tapping in. Somebody asked the question, said you should discuss roles or what your expectations of each other's are to do because we know better, we should do better. Exactly. 100% agree. Somebody said, I used to clean and he would cook. Partnership, tag team, love it. All right. So the evolution of this idea. So he was talking first to Elvin. Elvin had a traditional sense. Then he talked to the other guy. Other guy had a more liberal sense because of how he's raised. It ended up in this scenario. And then after we watch this clip, we'll give you a few nuggets, laugh about it, and try to apply it to our families and go home. All right, let's go. I mean, you're already at home, but you get what I'm saying. Here we go.
How you doing, Alvin?
Hi, Dr. Espel.
All right.
Thanks for letting me in.
It's okay.
Love this part. Love this part.
Is Sandra ready?
Well, not yet, but you can down a little while.
Love this part.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee.
You mean you're gonna get it?
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry, Mrs. Huxtable. I didn't think you did that kind of thing.
What kind of thing?
You know, serve.
Serve whom?
Serve him.
As in serve your man?
Well, yeah.
Serve your
Let me tell you
man.
something, Elvis.
Did she call him Melvin?
Dr. Huxtable. Okay.
That's
the kind of thing that goes on in a restaurant. Now I'm going to bring him a cup of coffee just like he brought me a cup of coffee this morning. And that, young man, is what marriage is made of. It is give and take 50-50. And if you don't get it together and drop these macho attitudes, you are never going to have anybody bringing you anything, anywhere, any place, anytime, ever.
Come on.
That was a lot.
What would you like in your coffee?
What would you like your coffee?
Maybe I could get you some coffee.
All right. I don't mind getting it, but thanks for offering.
Jesus. That boy scared.
So good.
Elvin?
Yes, sir.
When she brings the coffee back, if I were you, I wouldn't drink it.
So good, right? So we're talking about, do gender roles exist in marriage? That was so good. So the culmination was her about serving, and is serving still an attitude or submission or something that's done, in the home and in the household. Some people take that as her being a feminist or on a feminist rant or trying to have women's liberation. But I think that the lesson in it was, she was saying also that I serve him the same way he serves me,
which is what we're supposed to do for each other, which I think is kind of like the center of the conversation, is that when you start trying to put things in boxes or whatever, then you don't really get the full benefit of marriage. And in that clip, we're supposed to serve each other. One is not, we live each day trying to figure out, how can I outserve you?
Yeah. One thing I don't like, that I disagree with what she says, is 50-50. I don't think marriage is 50-50. I think it's 100-100. Everybody got to bring everything you got to your marriage all the time, not meet me halfway. I do half, because 50-50 is only suggesting like, I'll do half the half and you do the other half.
Well, what happens if I don't do mine?
Yeah, because I got to do my whole responsibility.
Right.
I have to bring my entire self to my marriage, not half of it, hoping that you finish it.
Right.
And you have to bring your entire self. And when you bring your entire self, you bring your identity, your skills, what you know, what you love, what you care about, your passions, your purpose. You bring all of that. And I bring all of that to our marriage. And when we bring it all to our marriage, then we together create a whole, and a whole creates a whole, not a half and a half.
Because that statement just like really irks me, because it's like, so then how do you decide what 50 you give? So you don't give your spouse everything, you hold back. So you sitting back like, I am about to give all of that because he don't deserve that or she don't deserve that. Right. So I don't like that comment either.
Yeah, so I think roles exist. But I don't think they exist in a traditional way that we made it, right? I believe that gender roles exist biblically, not generationally or Americanized, if you will, westernized culture, right? I think every home has a culture, and in every home in the culture, they are to adapt what works for their family. Yeah,
and I think especially as you said, kind of base roles on how you were raised. Right. But I think the cool thing about a house raising with two parents, you're raising a nation, that they are able to see what are the God-given gifts that are inside of each one of their parents. And it's cool as a parent to watch and see who pulls from each parent. And so you have to give the best of yourself because you want that, like that's your little pocket for your nation to be able to grab from.
Yeah. So when you answer the question, what roles, if gender roles do exist in any degree, right? So what roles do you see as husbands and wives? This is no right or wrong answer, no judgment here. This is like based on, again, like we saw the two guys, based on how you were raised, what you saw, what you experienced. Some of us grew up in a 2-parent household. Some of us grew up in a single household. Some of us grew up in a household where both parents worked. Some of us grew up in a house parent where one of the parents worked, right? So no matter what it is, what roles do you see distinctive between husbands and wives? What roles are distinctive between husbands and wives? In my house, husbands take out the garbage. I learned that, right? I didn't know that before. That may not be true for your house. It may not be true for a lot of people's house, but in my house, husbands take out the garbage, right? I don't know if I have a role though that I would say is a woman's role. Is there a role
that's what I'm saying? That's what I said.
To you as a woman?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, except what are we gonna eat? That's it. You always. That's the number one question. That's
a courtesy. That's I know. Ask that. When I know what I want to eat, though, I don't ask you that. But when I know you will usually concede to what I want to eat. That's not even a word. What are we talking about? That's a whole nother conversation. She just made up something. What roles? Anything? What do you got? What do you wife? Somebody said wife cares for the kids and husband bring home the income. Okay. Somebody says the husband provides, protect the wife and the family, right? Somebody says husbands take out the garbage and mop. That sounds like husbands do what you don't want to do, right? Somebody asked the question, how do you bring up the 100-100 when we're used to traditional marriage being 70-30 or 60-40? I'm not familiar with that because I don't know which way that is. We believe 100-100 is what everybody should bring. Maybe I read that wrong. My dad was the fixer. My mom, the nurturer, cooking, cleaning, and caring. My dad is the best cleaner. So somebody else says my husband does garbage and grass. G and G. G. Husbands are provider. Wife is the caregiver. Right. Provide and protect. Washing the vehicle. Husbands carry all the bags. I love y'all. Y'all funny. Husbands carry all the bags. Yeah, I don't carry bags.
You don't carry bags unless it's his.
No, that's not true. Grocery bags, I carry.
Yes.
Your shopping bags, I don't
don't carry them.
Unless we out on a little thing and I'm like, give me your bag. And then it's special. You be like,
it's extremely special and rare.
I bought what's in the bag. You carry your own bag.
He make everybody carry their bag.
Take the trash out. Keep the gas tank full. Husbands and sons treat me like a lady and respect my competence. All right. That's so good. That's good. Amy filled with a house full of guys. Right. You better be the queen. Husband is 911. Wives are 411. That's good, Kat. I like that. That's real. Husbands are 911, wives are 411. So let's get to what the Bible says. So we got a lot of opinions and feelings. You guys are rolling in. Keep them coming. You see something somebody says, talk to them, all right? I don't want to be on here a long time, too long. I just want to share with you some biblical perspectives, right? So first of all, men and women are equal in dominion and equal in authority. We know that. In creation, God creates man and woman equal in dominion and equal in authority. Everything that a man is, a woman is spiritually.
That's so good.
Everything a man is, a woman is spiritually. This is what we were taught by our mentors, Dr. Miles Monroe, Pastor Martin Williams, Pastor Linnell. These are some of the principles we pull and extract from our pastors and out of the Bible and out of the Word of God, right? So everything a man is, a woman is spiritually equal in authority, equal in dominion, but different roles, right? I'm not talking about washing, cooking, cleaning, gas. That's all fair. That's all communication. There's no judgment there. Whatever works for your house that helps you function at your maximum capacity, go for it. But biblically, there's some lines, right? And I think we have to be careful. God is the creator of marriage. He designed it a certain way and wants it handled a certain way. We have to be careful when we redefine the lines that God drew, right? So there's a difference from redefining the preferences of our parents redefining the preferences that we grew up in of our friends and watching their marriages. But there's a whole different thing when we try to redefine the lines that God made. So we want to just tap into some thoughts about some foundational things that'll help stabilize your marriage and help there find some strength. You want to say something there? You gotta jump in.
Yeah, but I think that this is a great start, and I would really say, please pay attention, because one of the things that we knew is that we wanted to do marriage the way that God said and the way that the Bible said, and not necessarily how we were raised. And it was a desire that we had as individuals, unmarried people, and understanding that framework helps you to move in the direction that you need to go without bombarding each other, without getting in the wrong, I won't say lane, but just making sure that you're in the way that God would want you to be, because it's so essential for the world and for your family.
Right. So when we try to get a sense of what God wants in his original plan, we always go back to the book of Genesis. That's the original design. And anytime your marriage gets off kilter, suffers trauma, gets rocky, comes through any place, go back to Genesis and figure out what God's original plan. Now, post the fall, there was a shift in the dynamic of how relationships function. As a part of the curse, God was like, I'm going to make man do this over the woman, and woman do this, and she's going to have a hard childbearing labor. And all of that is a part of the result of the fall. But the original intent and plan of God, we can get back to through our relationship with the King Jesus, who came to restore God's original thought and his original idea. So everything a man is, a woman is spiritually, right? And everything a man is, a woman is spiritually equal in authority, but with different roles. So then in the creation, and I'm sorry if that's really small unless you're on a TV, but in creation, Genesis 2:18 says, now the Lord God said, his idea, that is not good, sufficient, satisfactory, that the man should be alone. But I'm going to make him a helper, a suitable, adapted, complementary help for him. Suitable, adapted, and complementary help for him. Means every man has a wife that is suitable, adaptable, and complementary for him, that he knows and understands then who he is, his identity, if she's going to fit in, right? That plug. If he's going to be the plug in the socket, there's a fit there. There's a connection there. Suitable, adaptable, and complementary for him, which means what my wife needs to do for me based on my deficiencies, my lack, what I do for her based on her deficiencies, her lack. Some other person might not need that in their house. So every house has their own rules, right? God creates the roles, but every house has their own rules. Y'all okay? Y'all good tonight? What you want?
I just wanted to say that with you saying that they are suitable for each other, they're suitable for their purpose. Right. Whatever God has called them to be, you coming together helps you to be suitable for that person that you're that you're with in marriage for their purpose. You are their partner for purpose. Right. And I think that's necessary, because for the unmarried people that's on here, you don't marry anybody if you, first of all, you need to know your purpose, and they need to know your purpose and to be willing to work with your purpose. Right. Because all of their gifts and their talents, all of that whole scripture, that partnership, that adaptability, that complementary, all of that is going toward who you are, who God has called you to be, and your destiny.
Right. So everybody type it. My marriage is a partnership, right? We always say, Pastor Anna and I, we've been saying it since the beginning, purpose has partners, right? Yeah. My marriage, everybody type, my marriage is a partnership. So first, we have to have right perspective. God made a suitable, adaptable helper for me, right? In my marriage, God has defined the roles, but we get to create the house rules, okay? God defined the roles, we create the house rules, and my marriage is a partnership. You got that? Yeah. My marriage is a partnership. Now, when you talk about God defining the roles, and you heard my wife say, it's clear purpose, clear understanding your identity, so you know who you're connecting with and how that connects. Let's start with the man. So man then is the foundation of the family, and the wife is the frame. Right? The man is the foundation of the family, and the wife is the frame. The wife is the frame that everything your family is going to be built on is going to be built on the frame of your wife, the framework of your wife. But the man has to be the foundation. So he has to understand God created man first as a foundation, gave him a huge assignment, gave him work, Dr. Miles say work before woman. He gave him work before woman. And after he gave him work before woman, then he brought woman into his life. What? To help him build the frame of his life. Babe, what are we building?
Yeah.
Right? What are we doing? Yeah. What are we building? Here's my skill sets. Here's the vision. Here's the assignment of God for our life. You come into the world and become the frame. Yep. You become the frame of what it is we're building. Everything we add to this, every dynamic, you're now the frame of what we're building. And man is the foundation of the family, and the woman is the frame of that foundation. And so man now understands who he is and what God wants them to do. And your marriage becomes a partnership, because a family without a frame is just a foundation. And a frame without a foundation is going to fall. Right? Exactly.
Yeah. And the framework is what makes the dream work. The framework is what's making it aesthetically beautiful. The framework is making sure that there's boundaries, that there's things that are coming inside that can fit inside. Yeah. So it's like the internal part of something that is very necessary for everything else to grow from inside of it. Yeah. So yes, the man is the foundation. He keeping it strong. The foundation runs deep. The foundation is legacy. Like all of that is necessary, and it's necessary and it's fruitful. But if that foundation is there and that framework is shaky, that framework got tape around it, that framework trying to figure out what is going where and all this other kind of stuff with no kind of clear direction, then what the man has built as a foundation falls, and it will fall in the hands of you as a wife. So it's very necessary to understand your role and what exactly you are bringing inside of that frame.
Right. So you get the house, you get to create the house rules, but God has defined the roles. One of the roles, he said, is that a man is the head. Doesn't mean he's dominant or in control, means he's responsible, right? He's the head and his wife is the helper. The man is the head and the wife is the helper, right? And so in understanding that is about leadership. It doesn't mean she's not a leader, because if she's married to a leader, then you need a leader to help a leader, right? And so you need her to be able to lead. I always laugh at my wife, who was quite independent before we got married, and now she sometimes act like she's a damsel in distress, and things she could do when she was single she no longer does. But I get it, because it's not that she can't, it's that she doesn't have to, right? And so because man is the head, man, you have to exert your leadership. You're created to lead, and if you don't lead, your wife will lead, because in her is the ability to lead. And if you don't lead, she will lead, and she will lead, and she can lead, but she doesn't want to lead. And some women do want to lead, and they overlead, so their husband never lead, right? And so that emasculates him. And so, well, I want him to hurry up, because if he doesn't have a plan, she'll create a plan. If he doesn't have a plan, she'll create a plan. So men, it's important that you create a plan and express your plan. But women, you have to also be careful, because if you plan, then he has nothing to do. And if you plan, he has nothing to do. And that's more like his mama than his wife, right? That's more like his mama than his wife. And if he doesn't exert that leadership and that plan in the house, then the frame becomes shaky. So God created him to be the head, which means he's responsible. Doesn't mean he's dominant and his wife becomes this doormat. No, it's a partnership. But the leadership role that God created is for the man to exert that leadership. And for women, because women typically want a man that can lead, and a woman wants to be able to help. Yeah,
you can't, as a woman, you can't help but help. There's just there's something inside of you that when you get to a situation or you get somewhere, you're like, okay, what can I do? Like, to me, proper home training is when you come to somebody's house and they cooking and you don't ask, can I help? There's something wrong with you as a woman. That's just the way that I look at it, because your God-given gift is to help. You have to help, and you are a helpmate. So you find out what the vision is and you try to make it happen. Right. But if you don't find out what the vision is, then you'll go ahead and create a vision. But this is the very dangerous part in regards to this whole headship and helpmate, that as a woman, if you don't allow your husband to lead,
watch it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. What I meant
I understand.
Was,
finish your thought.
Okay, if you don't give him the opportunity to lead, with you not getting in the way of that yes, you can do it. And yes, you're a leader. And yes, you got vision and you're going to run that and you feel like, yep, because I want to control it. And after a couple of years, you're going to get real tired of that. And you want to know why you get real tired of that? Because that was not your God-given responsibility inside of your marriage.
Right.
And women are frustrated in relationships because they forgot that you did not wait for him to do what God has called him to do. You wanted him to hurry up. And you needed to allow God to create, or to strengthen that leadership muscle inside of him so that he can lead his family. And you really see this, and it's very interesting. But it's very interesting. You see that leadership inside of a man, especially when they're young. That's how you know it's innocent and it's just who God has called them to be, because you'll get boys at the age of like 13 and 14 talking crazy to their mama, and their mama looking at like, boy, what is wrong with you? But you really need to look that he's becoming a man. So he is pushing you as being a female, that you a helpmate. And I'm a leader. So he's pushing that. And it's not that you just allow him just to go crazy, but you do have to be careful with how you're maneuvering and shaping and nurturing the leader that is inside of your young man. Because if you don't, you will emasculate him. He won't be a leader. He'll be going here and there. He won't know which way to go. Why? Because he's never been able to strengthen that leadership muscle. My husband taught me that with my sons. He was like, you got to stop mamaing them. When they get to a certain age, you need to allow them to have some leadership. You can have leadership. You just will not be disrespectful to me in your leadership, sir.
Yeah. And if you feel like that your husband is quiet, it's not because he doesn't have vision or direction. It's just because you have to learn how to ask questions without questioning. So man of God, what's your vision? Where are we going? What do you see us in 10 years? What do you want to do in 5 years? Not nag, but curious, pause, wait, listen, because he has a direction and a directive. It's in him. But if you don't position yourself to be responsive, then you'll never be able to pull the depth of the greatness of who he is for the foundation of your family, right? So then it's a misnomer that women's supposed to be the most spiritual, but really God created man to be the priest, the provider, and the protector. The priest first. Man, you the pastor of your house. Come on, God. You the pastor of your house. The pastor is not the pastor of your house. The pastor is the pastor over your house because you submitted as the pastor of your house to that pastoral leadership. But you, man of God, are the pastor of your house. You are the foundation. You're the prayer warrior. You're the person that understands the scripture. She's the prophetess. You're the pastor. You understand? She can see. She can feel. Always talk to my wife and say, "Tell me how you feel, not tell me what you see." I got enough vision for us. I can see. I got vision, but I can know. I got direction, but I need to know how you feel, because my vision can cloud how you feel, how I feel, because I can see it, and no matter what, I'm gonna go after it. So I need to know: is this something I should go after? Because you're the part of me that teaches me how to feel and how to sense. But she's my partner. My marriage is a partnership, right? What good is it for me to see and not feel, and what good is it for her to feel and not see? So man of God, you're the priest, you're the provider, you're the protector of your home. That is your role. Remember, you get to create the rules in your family, but God created the roles. Let's get to another one. All right. So now he's the giver, she's the receiver. He's the giver, she's the receiver. Never forget that. If you ever forget that, look between your legs. Okay. If you ever forget, if you're the giver and if she's the receiver, just look between your legs. And it's a constant reminder. So you cannot ever, don't get upset, don't get mad because you're the one that's always giving. Man of God, look between your legs. Okay. Look between her legs. She's the receiver. You're the giver. You're built to give. She's built to receive. It's who she is. It's a part of the reminder of the role for your family and your foundation. So yes, she should reciprocate. What you give is what she's going to reciprocate. Now, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I guess I might as well. When you think about this, she's going to multiply whatever you give her. You're the giver, she's the receiver, but you have the seed, she has the eggs. Whatever you give her and the womb, she's going to birth it. You give her your dreams, she's going to birth it. You give her your ideas, she's going to birth it. She should birth it. She should not abort it. she should birth it. She should not kill it. She should birth it. She should not destroy it. She should birth it, right? You give her love, she's going to give you more love.
You give her hate,
she gonna give you more hell. You understand? So it's like you're the giver. And if you ever forget that you're the giver, just look between your legs. And if you ever forget that she's the receiver, just look between her legs.
Why
it is because I have to keep saying it because they will never forget. They are dying laughing, cracking up. But I bet they will never forget who's the giver and who's the receiver. It does not mean that she doesn't give and you don't receive.
Exactly.
But that's why sometimes it's harder for us to receive because we're built to give.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And she's built to receive. And we learn how to receive back whatever we gave her. And that's why when she gives us something back that we gave her, she always gives it back more.
Gives it back more, gives it more beautiful, gives it more flavor. Like whatever you give your wife, she's going to give you. You give her a seed, she's going to give you a baby that is much bigger.
You give her a house,
she going to give you a home.
You give her some groceries.
She should give you a meal.
She going to give you a meal. That's right. She's going to multiply whatever it is that you give her. And this isn't about roles like function. This is just the nature of who she is and how she wired. Remember, God created the roles. You get to create the rules for your house. Let's look at it. He's the source. She's the resource, right? He's the source. She's the resource, the progenitor. He's the progenitor. It begins in a sense with his role. That's how God designed it, right? And she's the resource. My wife is resourceful. You understand? She can do multiple things in multiple ways and do it all at the same time. She's resourceful. He's the source. She's what do you want? That's why she gets frustrated when I say, what do you want to eat? Because she's like, no, what do you want? And I'm hesitant to say it to her because her adaptability is usually, even if that's not what she wants, she's going to find something. I just pick what you want. I'll find something. I'm like, no, I want you to be happy too. I'm be happy. I eat everything. You picky, right? So I'm the source. She's the resource. And it's like, I want something. And my wife, like without fail, thank you, babe. My wife will go, I'll go get it. I'll be like, you just want to run the street. She's like, listen, what do you want me to do? You want it? You want me to just go? She do like driving in the car by herself because I found out by listening in to one of her Sea Life Saturdays that is like a private time for ladies, you know, like they like to go get in the car because there ain't no kids and nobody bothering them. They just get in there and they just be, I thought it was my imagination that she takes so long in the store, but it's really like a therapy session or something. But the point is, I'm thankful for her being resourceful because she'll go after it once she decides what it is I want.
But it's also with a woman being resourceful.
Yeah, even on her purses. I want to say that because even your purses.
What are you talking about?
Because I talk about you having all this big old purse and all this stuff.
Exactly.
But listen,
you need to talk about that.
No matter what, if I need something, listen here, it's in that purse. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh my gosh, she got everything in that purse because she's resourceful. Go ahead.
But that is, I mean, that's a great. That is great to say about a woman because you do need to be resourceful. You do need to be a well of information. You need to be a well of knowledge. And that's some information that you get, you may not even need right now, but you need to have a well of information because you are responsible for nurturing a lot of people and nurturing a lot of things. And when your husband comes to you, you want to be able to fix that. You want to be able to be like, oh no, babe, we can go over here for this price. Like that to me, that's partnership. That is what is necessary for you to be a kingdom couple, is to be resourceful. That you got the source. We got the source inside of you that if I find something, you can pay for it, like that kind of stuff. But I'm resourceful in finding information that you need.
And I also love the fact, in another level, that my wife is resourceful. One of the things when she stopped working was that she would always say that she would spend her time still trying to read and find out what I'm reading and what I know, because she didn't want to lose her edge, right? She didn't want me to have all these ideas, and then when I come to try to talk to her and articulate these ideas, that then she wasn't caught up on it. I couldn't educate, intellectually have a conversation with my husband. I wanted to be able to talk more. I wanted to be able to talk not just about diapers and breast milk, but I wanted to be able to talk about what is happening in the world, because at the same time, yes, I was still learning how to be a mother, but in the same
frame, I was still a wife. I was still needed to be his partner, his friend, his confidant, like a person that he could talk to outside of just what is happening with our children. So I just made sure I watched the news and that I was constantly reading, in between whatever, just to make sure that we were not growing apart, but that we were growing together in whatever season that we're in.
So she remained resourceful, right? So how can she help me or know what I needed or know how to know what I needed? I remember when we were getting ready to plant the revolution and we were looking for a building, and I told her what I was really hoping for and praying for, and was spending my days praying and looking for. And while I was asleep, my wife would rise up early in the morning before I wake up, and she would pray for the specific things that I put on my prayer list. And then she would come lay back down, and then I would get up and go looking for it. And almost for 1 week, she did this. And like she said, the Lord told me to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and pray for everything that's on your list. And she got up every morning. And by the end of that week, by the time I got up after she laid back down from getting up and praying, she literally birthed out in prayer everything that I was looking for. And that list was gone by the end of the week. I got up ready to work, and I found everything that I was looking for. And I believe it's because my wife went ahead of me as a resource in the heavens and created an atmosphere for me to be able to thrive and get what I needed to get done. And so again, I want everybody to type, my marriage is a partnership. Okay. My marriage is a partnership. And you have to understand what your roles are. She's not the only intercessor. I'm an intercessor. I pray for her. I pray over her. But in that season, my energy was more about trying to find and see and get. And her energy was more about trying to birth in the spirit and lay in the foundation to help me. She couldn't go scour the land with me, but she could get up in the heavenlies, and she would birth it in the spirit before I would manifest it. And I just believe there's some dreams, there's some things that's locked up inside of you, man of God, that your wife can help you birth out. Woman of God, there's some stuff that's locked inside of you that your husband is going to help you birth out. There's some things that you can see in her and she can see in you. And if y'all stop fussing and majoring over minors and start communicating and working together, 2 is better than 1. And you can put it together and get it done. You can become the source. She can become the resource. Stop fussing and fighting over who cooking and washing dishes and who mopping the floor and taking out the garbage and who is doing the laundry, and start getting on task and focusing on what the divine design and the divine assignment is for your home and for your house. Let's get back to God's rules, right? God's roles. You can create your house rules, but God has the roles, all right? Here, he's the provider, but she incubates. We already did that, right? He provides, she incubates. Whatever it is he provides, she incubates. Let's get to the next one. He cultivates, she produces, all right? He cultivates, she produces. This is a partnership. This is a tag team. And whenever you feel stuck, ladies, just get curious again. Remember, learn to listen. Just get curious again. Don't nag, don't fuss. Bible says it's better for a man to be on the corner of the rooftop than to be in the house with a nagging woman. You hear me? Jesus. Don't nag. Just get curious again. Begin to ask your questions. Questions. Pay attention to him. You got to study your husband, study your man, pay attention to him, understand his nuances, the seasons that he's in. Husbands, the Bible says, know your wives, right? You got to know her temperament, know her sensitivities. Don't agitate it. Don't irritate it, right? Know it. Work together so you can cultivate and so that you can produce. Pay attention, ladies, to your husband. Listen to him. Listen to what he's saying. He talks when he's speaking. When he's not speaking, he's still talking.
Saying a whole lot, being quiet.
If he's not talking, he's saying a lot. Trust me, men. Ladies are always like, man, my husband don't talk. He don't say nothing. Him not talking is saying something. Listen to me. He's talking. He's saying something. You just have to learn. It may not be the way you want him to say it. You just have to learn how to listen. Learn how to listen to what he's saying, right? And when you pay attention to him, ladies, please, your husband, that ego, that the way we're wired is not going away. Pay attention to your husband, because if you don't pay attention to him, someone else will.
And that is, I won't say the interesting part, but that is the part that when you kind of say that your husband is quiet, he's talking to somebody, or he's talking to somebody. Because just as a human being, there are some people that are quiet, but there's things that are inside, or that you can feel and you can sense that there's things that he wants to talk about, or there's things that he's going through, but he's not sharing them with you. You need to sit and ask questions and watch and pay attention and study.
And it's not always another woman that he's talking to. It's just somebody's getting his thoughts.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting his time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
where he feels that somebody wants to know what it is.
That's right. That somebody's curious. And we always say you're teaching your spouse how to respond by what you say. So if you say something, they go crazy, then I ain't saying that again. I don't feel like saying that, right? So it's like learn to listen to their life, learn to listen with intent, learn to listen with curiosity so you can understand what exactly that they're saying and why they're saying it the way that they're saying it. Was that good, guys? Did y'all learn something tonight? Man, we out of time. Our time happened quick tonight. How do you listen when they don't talk? I just told you they are talking. Listen, who told you that words are the only way that we communicate? Body language is a way to communicate. Body language is a way to communicate. Ask questions. Your husband he's built to be a problem solver. Ask questions. He will want to solve the problem. Present it as a problem, not as he's the problem, right? Go ahead, babe. Say what you're saying.
But I was gonna say that, the question of how do you whatever, ask a question or if they don't talk, but they did talk. Yeah. Didn't they talk at the beginning of it? You need to figure out what made them stop talking. Because I'm sure y'all wasn't sitting on silent.
Because if you married a silent man, then you already know he's silent. You're good with it.
If you know
so that you didn't stop talking, then why did he stop talking?
You need to find out why he stopped talking.
Somebody says, so men don't have control over their egos. Yeah, they have control over their egos, but they're wired not to be egotistical, but they're wired to have egos. It's a part of their identity. They're made in the image and the likeness of God. They're fearfully and wonderfully made. They want to be proud of their work. They want to be proud of who they are. They want to own their identity. It's the strength of their legacy. It's their family foundation. It's like all this stuff that's great about them that's often not celebrated, especially if it's a black man. He usually goes into a world where he's uncelebrated. In most cases, he's usually into a world where he's underestimated or he's intimidated or looked at as an intimidation. And then he comes to a house, he should come home and be the king of his castle. Why should his ego go away? If his ego's out of control, yes, it should be controlled. But if he's a good man, as a priest, a provider, and a protector, then what's wrong with celebrating his identity?
But if you feel like his ego is out of control, that's another place where you need to ask, why is his ego out of control? What is it that's causing him not to be balanced? Does he feel, is he feeling like his ego is being suppressed? So then in one space, he got to make it really, really big because in one space, he's not being celebrated. Like, to me, it's an opportunity to ask more questions, because to me, when something is in balance, it's because some other places there's a major deficit.
We told you in our home, every time everybody comes home, it's a celebration. When the men come home, we celebrate. In the Bible, when the men returned back from war to the camp, it was a celebration, right? Thank you for bringing the spoils, the food in. Thank you for bringing the spoils in, the victories in, right? And so nobody should be the greater cheerleader than a man's spouse, and nobody should be the biggest celebrator for a woman than her spouse, right? It's a partnership. And so it should be celebrated all the time. That's my thoughts about that. My husband complain all the time. He act like an old angry man and he just be fussing. What is he fussing about?
What's going on? Is there some underlying medical things? He's not just gonna fuss for nothing. It's something that he's fussing about. So instead of fussing about him fussing, find out why he's fussing. Because it's one thing to say you fussing and then be dismissive and you judge the fuss. It's another thing to get curious about why he's fussing, ask questions, and help alleviate the fuss. You ain't got to fuss. You ain't always fussing. If he always fussing, then y'all ain't always doing something that'll eliminate the fuss, right? So if it's angry old man, why is he angry? Why is he upset? It's always a cause and a root to anything in that process. We got to be willing, married people. You have to be willing to find the root and to be patient and to do the work to find the root of what is not, quote unquote, right in your relationship.
So then if a man only comes home, we got to go, guys. So if a man only comes home with the things that went wrong because he had to act like everything is okay in public, then how do we celebrate him?
How do we still celebrate him?
Wow. again, a woman can see. So a man, he can look at what's going wrong, right? He looks at what's wrong or what's not right. Mm-hmm. So as a woman, what grandma said, man is the head, but the woman is the neck. So you help them see perspective, the good and the bad, the other side of it, where it's not all bad. And don't do that without empathy first, right?
Right. Like, babe, I'm so sorry you had such a bad, horrible day.
Man, that sucks. That's horrible that happened, or that's horrible that they went wrong. What can I do to make it better? Is there anything you need from me? Is there any way that I can make it better? Is there anything I could do that'll ease that pain? I don't want you in that kind of pain. I don't want you upset about that. I don't want you always fussing. I want you to be happy. What would make you happy right now?
I know it's
the whole timeline stops.
I know. I know.
We got to go.
I know y'all looking at us and you'd be like, how is that possible? Like, that's so easy to say. It is easy to say. And I know in the moment it can be difficult. But if you stop for a moment and not get sucked into what you need to counteract, because if you understand that this is a partnership, don't get sucked into what you need to counteract. If he or she comes in the house and she's mad and she fussing, who is it? Who done did something up to in our kingdom? Who done did it?
That's right. The king and the queen are mad. The king is mad. The queen is mad. The queen is mad. The king is mad. Because we in it together. Again, I say, go back and watch Empathy. If y'all didn't watch the Empathy, anger, forgiveness, all that, y'all need to go and rewatch it and watch it and watch it and watch it again, because it's going to disappear. I'm telling you, it's about to disappear. But right now it's on YouTube. If you're new to this and you didn't see it, go watch it, because Empathy is seriously, it will heal, it will help. Most of these nuggets that we talked tonight are in my book, Kingdom Relationships, that we wrote together. You can get it on JamoneGlenn.com, on Amazon. You can get it tonight and rehearse these thoughts and these ideas. If this blessed you, and we hope it did, show us by sowing. Sow where you grow. Sow where you grow unapologetically. We pray, we prepare to bring you the very best, and we want you to do your very best to sow into that. Bible says to let the spiritual exchange for the natural exchange, and if you give, it'll be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. Man, we hope that you got something out of this that will help you through your counseling while you're in counseling, or help you out of counseling or staying out of counseling. It's not easier said than done. No. It is easy as is said. It is easily done. You just need to really think about it and do it again. Again, we only do what we saw, and we only do what we know. We saw in the Cosbys, these men grew up in marriages and relationships, and this was their paradigm. This was their perspective, right? But when you know better, you do better. You get to create the rules of your house, but God already created the roles. Don't change. Thank you for the cash apps. Don't change the gender roles that God designed. Yeah. And it's bigger than cutting grass, and it's bigger than washing dishes, and it's bigger than cooking. Do what you want. Whoever's good at it, serve your skill. Submit to the person that has the better skill. If your wife is better with money, submit to it. Don't let your house go broke because you the man. All right. If your husband is better with money and your wife's not, then submit to it. Don't fight that man if he's trying to keep y'all out of bankruptcy and keep y'all out of debt. Keep y'all lights on. You hear what I'm saying? Submit to the skill. Those roles are about the relationship and who's best with what. And I submit gladly to the skill sets that my wife possesses that's greater than mine. And she submits gladly to the skill sets that I possess that's greater than hers. Most of the time. No, she doesn't. I'm just playing, babe. And so I am playing. And so in that same process, let us learn how to collaborate together, because you're better together than you are apart. Write it one more time before we get ready to go. My marriage is a what? Is a partnership. All right. And I don't want you to forget that your marriage is a partnership. All right. Let's do our marriage confession. My marriage is blessed. My marriage is blessed. My spouse and I are led by the Spirit of God. My spouse and I are led by the Spirit of God. When we pray together. In unity. Our prayers are powerful. And we get results. We make every effort. To establish peace and harmony in our home. Together. We walk in agreement. And we are an unstoppable force. If we get angry. We are quick to forgive. So that we do not have strife in our relationships. We are not not self-seeking.
We are not self-seeking.
Rude. Proud. Boastful. Nor jealous. Instead. We are what? Loving. Kind. Patient. And we put each other's needs. Before our own. We trust each other. And we protect the sanctity of our marriage. And what God has joined together. Let no man put asunder. All right, you purpose for this. I need y'all to work it out. Love each other. Stay with each other. Work together. God is faithful. He loves you. He has a plan. You get to create the rules of your home, but God has already created the roles for you, all right? I want you to know that, all right? All my single people that's watching, you waited to the end. Listen, waiting or dating. It's coming up virtual.
Oh, my goodness.
September 25th. I want you to know that you have a choice. Waiting or dating. You don't just have to date because somebody asked you to go on a date. You got to date to wait or date. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. The registration is absolutely free. It's Friday night, just like last time. Soul Sessions, September 25th, 2 weeks from now. Free registration. Register today on JamonGlenn.com. I want you to do it and make it happen. That's something for the singles. I told y'all once a month I'm going to do something. We did Living Single. We did Soul Sessions, and now Waiting or Dating. I want you to get it. It's going to be phenomenal. Go register right now. If you don't have Kingdom Relationships, how many of y'all got it? Y'all got it? If you don't have Kingdom Relationships, go and order it. Get it on Amazon right now. Get it tonight. Read the book. Hey, your marriage is blessed. We believe the very best in your marriage and in your family. We want the best for you. We love you. That's why we spend this time with you. All right? God bless you. Thank you for your sowing. Keep sowing. Thank you for blessing us. It teaches us and shows us that this matters. Did y'all miss us last week? That's what Monday would be like without Marriage Monday. So your sowing lets us know that you're growing and we should keep going. All right. Your sowing let us know that you're growing and we should keep going. Why? Because we love you. Y'all good? Did it bless you? Yes. Got it. We got it. Good. I got it.
I had some problems.
Missed you too. Love y'all. Miss you, Kim. Stan. I'm heading over now. Yeah, y'all better go register. Y'all know it's limited space. Marriage is a partnership. Come on, make that declaration. I love that. My future marriage is a partnership.
Yeah, y'all better proclaim that.
Come on.
All my loving, all this love is waiting for you, my baby, my sugar.
So where you grow.
All this love is waiting for you. What tab is it under?
I don't know. I'll find it. All right, y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for rocking with us tonight. It was real. All right? Peace.